So when you log into the back end of the site, you're going to be brought to this main dashboard page. This is showing you some information um, that we'll talk about later, but when it comes to actually editing the site, you're not going to do most of that from the dashboard. You're really going to be focused on a couple other items over here on this left-hand navigation. So for this video, we're going to talk about how to edit pages, which we'll do by clicking on this Pages tab here, bringing up um, all of the pages that are on the site. So you'll see here a list of all the pages that we have. These first three are listed as drafts. That just means that the pages are being worked on the back end, but they aren't being seen on the front end. So because these pages are all currently in development, we have them back here so that we can work on them, but you can't see any of them on the front end. But you would be able to click on one of these pages and see what's going on, how it's being built, that kind of thing. We'll show how to edit the home page, but for the most part, this is going to be the same information for really any of the pages. So you click on the home page here, and it's going to bring us up the back end of the home page, which will show us what we call page modules, which is how the page is actually built. Now, it's always a good idea when working on the site to have the front end of the site open as well. This allows you to kind of keep up with what it is that you're changing and find the information that you're wanting to change. So for us, we'll act like we're going to change this section here. So we'll click back over to the back end so that we can find the module that contains that information. So you click on this little pencil. That's what allows you to edit. Click over here. So what you've got here, this is our approach to care. That's what we were looking at on the front end. So we're seeing all of this content right here is here. So you'll see two options for editing. You have a visual editor and a text editor. The text editor is showing you the actual code that's being used to build the site. It's always best to edit from the visual side if you're able. So if you can click anywhere in here, what'll happen is now it's going to allow you to edit just like a normal text editor like Microsoft Word or whatever. We're going to go ahead and delete this since we are working on the live site here. But once you clicked in there and started typing, that would actually be making the edits just like a normal text editor. Now, you'll see over here, and this is the case on a couple of different pages. Here you've got this kind of specialized section here, these tabs with some information. In order to edit that, you'll want to scroll to the bottom and you'll see this tabbed content. So this is another type of module. You'll click on the pencil if you want to edit that, and here you see the titles of the tabs and all the information. Same thing as before, you've got a visual editor and a text editor. Again, always best to edit from the visual side when possible. You click back over here and you can see prioritize doctor-patient relationship. That's what we've got here. So if you scrolled to the bottom here, you would be able to add another tab if you wanted to. If you clicked that, it would bring up a blank module like this. You could put in the tab title. You may want to copy over all this information, just copy and paste it, and then start editing it so the formatting stays. And then you could reorganize these tabs with these arrows here. That's what allows you to change the order of the tabs. Now, when you're done making your edits, you have to do something that's a little counterintuitive, but it does work. You have to click on this X. So the changes that you're making are being saved, even though it may not look like it. You'll go ahead and click on the X. That's taking you out of this tabbed content section. Remember, you were originally in this other module, so you'll click out of here. Now you have a couple of options. So the changes that you've made have been saved, but they're not actually live on the site. So you could press preview. That would bring up another tab up here that would show you what the changes you've made are going to look like. It's always a good idea to do that before actually hitting update. Update is like the main save function. So when you hit update, it's going to save your changes. You can also switch a page to draft. Again, we're going to avoid doing that here since we're working on the live site, but that's how you would want to put your page in draft if you were working on it, but it wasn't finished and you weren't ready to have it visual on the front end. So another thing to keep in mind is this revisions tab here. Now when I click on this, because I'm using Google Chrome, it's going to bring up a message that's kind of irrelevant, telling me that the changes I made haven't been saved, but I didn't actually make changes. So we'll go ahead and tell it to leave when it brings it up. But what it's going to show us now is all of the revisions that have taken place on the page. So you'll see this revisions history bar up here. This goes all the way back to 2 months ago. We could restore to that revision if we wanted to. It's probably not a great idea, so we won't do it. But as you move forward, you're going to have more and more options here. And if you end up saving a page and it wasn't what you wanted and you're having trouble figuring out how to edit it back, you can just always restore back to a previous revision of the page by changing the slider over here and then clicking on Restore this revision. So that is the main information on how to edit a page.